Hi guys, welcome to 2019. Happy New Year. Let's talk about what we want to do this year. Hi guys, welcome. Thank you guys so much for being here. My name is Felicia from SweetGeorgia, and this is Taking Back Friday. We have been coming here every Friday to talk about making things, making time to make things. We talk about SweetGeorgia things, we talk about School of SweetGeorgia things, and mainly we talk about yarn and color, knitting, spinning, dyeing, weaving, all of those things. Now, you may notice, if you have come here to watch these episodes before, that we are currently not in my craft room or my attic. And part of that reason is, I don't know if you guys saw over the holidays, January 1st, Netflix launched a new series about Marie Kondo, KonMari, and she had a book that came out a couple of years ago called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And I fell in love with this book. It's a tiny little skinny little book. So I read the book. I also got the Audible version of the book. And then I took my physical book and then I gave it to people. And then I've just been really excited about this idea of cleaning up and simplifying and minimalizing and all these kinds of things that we have talked about before. So since her show kind of came out January 1st, I have been doing a little bit of stuff in the attic. And so currently my attic looks a little bit crazy. And so it was not really conducive for us to film in today. But in a couple of weeks, I'm hoping that I will have the chance to show you what it will look like once it's all cleaned up and stuff has been purged and all of the things that spark joy are still in there. So yeah, I'm hoping to share that with you guys soon. So I want to tell you a little bit about the reason why I was sparked to sort of purge my attic and purge that craft room area. You know, at the end of every year, there's like one day where my husband is off from work and I am off from work and we have some help with our families to watch the kids. And so this is the one day of the year where we get to do like a massive house clean out sort of thing. I think 2 years ago we cleaned out the laundry room, and I think the laundry room took like 5 hours or something crazy like that. Last year, the one day that we had to work on the house, we painted the living room, the dining room, and the kitchen all in the same day. And this year, we spent that one day cleaning out this office space. So this is my home office space. And now we've cleaned it out and we repainted it so that it can function as a space for shooting tutorials and videos. So you can see this is kind of like my workspace here, but I'm going to show you around. In that space over there, we're going to be shooting different tutorials, and they're going to be sort of top-down tutorials where you can see what's going on with my hands. So that's kind of what we have been doing in this room. So end of the year is about cleaning things up. It's about reflecting. It's about, you know, clearing out all the old stuff so that we can get started with the new stuff. So that happened in this room. The other thing that happened was all year I have been wanting to do more weaving, and it's just kind of like been rattling around in the back of my mind. It's like, oh, I'm gonna get to it, I'm gonna get to it, I really, really want to do it. And I've been thinking that a lot of the reason why I can't get to the weaving is because the looms are up in the attic, and so it's hard to get there, and it's hard to make time to go up there to do that weaving. So one of the things that I have been thinking about trying to do is trying to make weaving a little bit more accessible to me, like more available, more right there, like more obvious. And so something that I can't sort of get away from. I know when I first started spinning, I used to have my spinning wheel right near where I would come in the front door. And so I would come home, and the first thing I would do is I'd put down my bags and I'd sit at the wheel and I'd spin for 10 minutes before going off to do other things. And so I think in the back of my mind, I thought, well, maybe it might be possible to do something like that with my weaving. Even though I don't have a loom here or anything like that, I have a rigid heddle loom. So it's a small 16-inch wide rigid heddle loom. And so what I did was over the holidays, I got myself this. So this basically just arrived this morning, but inside here is a stand for the rigid heddle loom. So one of the things that I was thinking about is that I could take this rigid heddle loom, put it on the stand, and then put it in the living room, so that way in the evenings when I'm watching TV, instead of just doing knitting, I could spend some time weaving on the rigid heddle loom. A couple of other things happened over the holidays that kind of addressed this desire to do more weaving. And one of them was a very, very strange and surprising turn of events in which I seem to be the new parent of a new loom. This loom is new to me. It's actually a woman who I knew from the Spinning and Weaving Guild locally here from many, many years ago. She just called me up one day and said, would you like a loom? And because she was trying to sort of downsize and things like that, and destash her equipment, destash her things. And I was like, okay. But I knew that I already have 2 floor looms. I already have access to a couple of rigid heddle looms. And I don't really have space in the attic for this giant loom. And so I tried to pass it to another girlfriend of mine who's starting weaving as well, who might have possibly had the space, but it ended up that the loom was actually too big to even fit inside her house. It wouldn't even go through the door. And so this massive loom ended up coming back to me, and it is currently in my living room. So one of the things about this loom is it's beautiful. It's quite large. It is 45 inches wide weaving width, which means that in real life it's like 55 inches wide. And then when the whole thing expands out front to back, it's also about 50 inches wide front to back, and it's about 49 inches tall. So it's got a rather large footprint. One of the reasons why I was trying to clean out the attic was I was trying to see if there was a way that I could make space to fit it in the attic. The issue is that I can't break it down small enough in order to carry all the pieces up to fit into the attic. And even if I could, then it would be really unlikely that I would ever be able to dismantle it and remove it from the attic. And so it is where it is right now. And maybe it answers that question that I was thinking about, where, you know, to have that loom in a very accessible location where I could just pass by and do a little bit of threading and pass by and weave a couple of picks. I don't know. So this is all a little bit of an experiment, but I feel like it's kind of a message that says that 2019 for me, at least, is about a lot of weaving. And then a couple of days ago, another thing happened very much out of the blue. Laura Fry, who is a professional production weaver here in BC, and she's done teaching videos for Interweave, she's written books. She recently wrote a new book called The Intentional Weaver. And I'd seen this before the holidays when she launched it, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm totally gonna go get that. And then just things got busy, and then I forgot. And then a couple of days ago, she messaged me on Facebook, and she's like, hey, would you like a copy of the book? And I was like, okay. And so I have been reading this book, and like, it is exactly the book that I need right now, that has all of the information about like doing things in a very experienced way. Like Laura Fry obviously has a great deal of experience because she's always learned to do things in the most efficient and productive way possible because she's a production weaver. She needs to make cloth in order to make her living. And so I'm so thrilled to be able to read through, like I just want to read everything page to page, every single word, and soak every single thing up to learn from this amazing instructor. So those are the kinds of things that have been happening to me over the past couple of weeks. And again, I feel like it's kind of been a call, or it's been an answer to a call that I've been having for myself. And so this all kind of relates into this one big thing that I'm trying to do for 2019. So if you guys have been following me through the School of SweetGeorgia or anything like that, I've been mentioning this for the past couple of months, this idea of trying to start a project called Epic Cloth. And this is all sort of spawned from the slow cloth month that happens in October every year. So October has somehow been designated as Slow Fashion Month or Slow Cloth Month, and it's a celebration of clothing or fabric or textiles that have been created by hand or over a long period of time, either if you dye the yarn or if you're spinning the fiber to make the yarn, and then you make that yarn into a fabric that you then cut and sew into something. It celebrates that entire process of making a wardrobe, making a handmade wardrobe. And so every time this slow cloth month comes around, or slow fashion month comes around in October, I'm always like, oh, that's a wonderful idea. But I have nothing to really show, because slow cloth is exactly that. It takes a long time to make. It is not something that can be made purely in 1 month, in the month of October. And so it needs for you to be considering this theme over a long period of time. And so since this past October, I've been thinking that what I want to do is to take this time from January until September, those 9 months before October, take those 9 months and break them up, and then use that time for a big project, like an epic project, like something that, you think is in your head and you wish you could do, like maybe the first ever sweater that you make, or maybe you want to weave a blanket from scratch for the first time ever, just something that is challenging for you. I know what I want to do for myself and what I think is going to be challenging for myself. For me, I have long been inspired by this weaver. She's a professional weaver and colorist. Her name is Ptolemy Man, and she's in London in the UK, and she produces the most beautiful textiles. Her textiles are for wall hangings and rugs, and she consults with businesses on color use in their architecture. She's just been absolutely incredibly inspirational to me since I first discovered her. And so I want to learn how to make a kind of textile that is inspired by her, but then also inspired by my environment here. My dad, my father, he is a landscape painter. So he's been an oil painter and a printmaker for his whole life now, I guess. And so there's an element of wanting to incorporate some kind of landscape feature in together with the style and aesthetic of something that I'm wanting to learn from this other textile artist. So kind of melding them together, and at the same time learning the weaving techniques in order to make that happen, and learning the dyeing techniques in order to make that happen. I need to fully learn how to use fiber-reactive dyes and cotton and cellulose yarns in order to do this piece. So in any case, this is the project that I want to do for 2019. So what I decided to do was actually to put together my thought process and my organizational process around getting started with this project. And I put it together and I made a little workbook. So this is kind of like, that's the cover of the workbook. But this workbook is available through the School of SweetGeorgia. Anybody is welcome to join me in this slow cloth or epic cloth challenge. If there's something that you're thinking that you might like to make in 2019, I absolutely welcome you to come and join us. It is actually going to be offered as a free portion, like a free workshop in our School of SweetGeorgia. So you can sign up for a free account at the School of SweetGeorgia, and then you'll get access to the Epic Cloth project, and then you'll also get access to Color Play, which is one that we released a little while back. So those two would be free options for your membership if you decided to subscribe. One other thing that we wanted to do for this year was to also offer anybody who wants to join the full membership of the School of SweetGeorgia. So if you want to get like an annual membership right now for the School of SweetGeorgia, there's going to be a promotion, so you can find the promotion link down below. But we're going to give you a little bit of a discount from now until the end of January. So anybody who's watching this video, you guys can get yourself a little discount to the school if you want to join us for the full year. And inside the school, you'll find content about dyeing, you'll find content about spinning, and then we're also going to be making a lot of content, obviously, about weaving this year as well. Yeah, Now, I'm curious to hear about what other goals you guys might have for 2019. I know that there are three big things that I'm trying to do. On the SweetGeorgia side of things, we are making some changes to our website at this exact moment. That's why I'm sitting down here. We're making some changes that are trying to make the website faster, more mobile friendly, just improving all of that kind of stuff. So that's one of the things that we're trying to do right now. We also, like we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, we have a retreat that's going to be coming up later on this fall. It's going to be our first ever fiber arts retreat, and registration for that is going to be happening in the coming weeks. So you'll have to be on our email newsletter list so that you can find out about when registration goes live. So that's the SweetGeorgia side of things. The School of SweetGeorgia side of things, my goals around that this year are really about inviting other instructors to come and join us as part of like a team of instructors or like a faculty for the school. I have been talking to a number of teachers, number of people that I would love to work with because they have beautiful, incredible, deep knowledge and skills in certain areas of the fiber arts. It's just knowledge that they have gained over doing this for 30 years, 40 years, and hoping that the School of SweetGeorgia will be a venue where they can share their knowledge and their skills. So I'm very, very excited about that. And then personally, for my crafting, making kind of world, in addition to the epic cloth project that I want to do, I have made a bit of an agreement with a couple of girlfriends that we will not acquire any more new yarn in 2019. And I know that's really weird for somebody who makes yarn and who provides yarn and dyes yarn and things like that. However, I know that in my attic, I have an extensive amount of yarn, a big selection. Some of the yarns might be things that we discontinued. Some of the yarns are things that we have seconded. Some of them are strange experiments and misdyes. Some of them are yarns that I brought back from Japan. Some of the yarns are, there's a whole mix and range. And so I want to go through all that yarn and I want to use it. I don't want to hold on to it anymore and then just get new yarn each time for a new project. I'm going to go through my stash and make stuff from that. That is my agreement, and I'm trying to be accountable by telling you guys about this as well. So, no new yarn this year. Anyhow, I am curious to see what you guys have planned for 2019, what your goals are for the new year, if you have set goals like no new yarn or just only going through your stash or big projects that you want to make. I would love to hear about them. You guys can post all your comments down below. I read every single comment. I may not have the time to actually answer every single comment, but I absolutely read every single comment. And you guys, you make me smile, you make me happy, the comments. It's really, really wonderful to get messages from you guys and hear about what you guys are going through or how, whatever I've said, how it's resonated with you or if it's been meaningful. It's been really, really wonderful. So thank you so much for taking that time to write a message. So that is it for this week, I think. So you guys can check out the School of SweetGeorgia. There's a link below if you guys want to sign up for a whole year with the discount. Or you can sign up for a free subscription and you'll get access to the Epic Cloth if you guys want to join me for that one. It is a 9-month challenge. So yeah, it's a big one. I'm like, I know there are people who do like 3-day challenges and 7-day challenges and 21-day, and those are all pretty doable compared to being able to do this over 9 months. So this is going to be, it's a challenge and experiment to me as well. But I'm really, really excited to finally try to attempt something that has been at the back of my mind for many, 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 many years now. So that's it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this episode, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more episodes like this, please hit subscribe and you'll get notified every week when new videos come up. And I guess I will see you guys in the next one. All right, thanks so much for watching. Bye.